Hi, my name is Stuart Keogh, and this tutorial is about using Apple Numbers to streamline your students' workflow. So let's get started. Started talking about some of the basic functionalities of Apple Numbers and how they can help you. So the first thing you'll see is it looks exactly like any other spreadsheet. You have your toolbar here at the top. Let's make a new page really quickly. When you make a new page, you have a blank sheet. Within this blank sheet, it just starts you with a table. That table can stay there. You can do anything you'd like with it. You can delete it if you'd like, and essentially get this nice big canvas. You can create formulas. You can insert spreadsheets, charts, text boxes just like this, with your options on the right-hand side here. Style, so if you want to create a sticky note, you make this. We can change the size, everything like you would on any other program. You can insert media, you can insert shapes, anything that you would like from the start. One of the great things about tables, it already comes with pre-selected table types if you'd like, but the table is really functional for a lot of reasons. The first one is that you can edit individual cells to do very specific things. For instance, with this data format, you can create a checkbox in which you just add a check or not. You can create star rating where you can give certain stars, so if they're giving feedback to a person on something, they can put stars there. Stepper, same instance, they can do up or down. So if you're rating things, or if you're creating a rubric for yourself and you want to just have a rubric on the left-hand side and then how they did, you can do that. You can also do a pop-up menu. The pop-up menu is great because whatever text that you enter in here, so let's say we enter in, we'll add a second one. Let's say we say color blue, color red, and the color white. Now when they click on this box, there'll be a part here where they can select those, so those can be answer choices for you. The other great thing is that within these cells you can do what's called conditional highlighting. So we can add a rule, we can add text. If it says that it is white, that's the correct answer. We're going to make the box green. So when we select blue, it's not. If we select white, it is. You can also make it so it'll tell you it's wrong. So if I add a rule and red is the wrong one, so if I say that red is the wrong answer, it can be a red fill. So that when I click on this box and hit done here, when I click on this box and I select red, it'll mark it as incorrect for the student. So why use Numbers? Numbers allows for a single platform for students to access all of their workflow for a project, activity, or stations. So based on just those simple things that I showed you on this last tab, there's an almost infinite amount of things you can do for project workflow, stations, different activities. One of the ones that we did with our biology team recently was we took data that they had got from our learning management system called Schoology, where they took a practice EOC, and this was the data from the practice EOC. We took those numbers, as you can see right here, and what we've done is we've put them into this spreadsheet. So we typed in all the numbers. The students did this on their own. They typed in all their numbers from the data that they got. And what it did was it directed them towards each station, just using conditional formatting like we showed you guys. So again, the highlighting rules here is just with numbers between 0 and 60, it's red. Between 60.1 and 89, it's yellow. And 89 and above is green. This gives the students specific feedback on which station they need to go to for the specific review. So it looks like station 1 they're doing great on, but they really need to be going to station 2, station 7, stations 9 and 10, and 11 through 13. So in this situation, using conditional formatting, it shows exactly where the student should be. We also had, these were all linked with a formula that averaged up all of these cells on the left-hand side. Standard formula just like you'd use with Excel or with Google Sheets. And it gives the overall average for specific content areas so that if they need to really focus on interdependence within environmental systems, it'll tell them that right away. The other thing is it's a good method for using a whole management for a project. So within this one, the chemistry teacher I worked with was looking at doing a project-based learning for gas laws. So we talked about using Deflategate as an option, and within all the top row here, I screenshotted this one for you guys, but there's the social contract, problem with pressure, what about temperature, the pump function correctly, and the conclusion. And within each of these tabs, they're going to be discovering different gas laws as they go, and ultimately they'll be able to come with a conclusion and use all these previous tabs to draw all their information together and then create a video at the end. That you can do is you can use this to help manage and check on student progress. I did a professional learning over small group instruction the other day. I assigned each team a 90s cartoon character, and that was their team for the day. What I did then is, as each team finished part of the workflow and part of what they're working on, they'd let me know and I'd check them off. This was posted at the front of the room, and it made it very easy for me to see who was moving forward and who was struggling. In this situation, all it is a table with checkboxes, and I just inserted some images here. That's all this table is. It looks a lot fancier than it is, but just with some simple formatting like changing the color and the fill. And then again, when you click on the cell, it's just a checkbox for data format. It makes it a very easy method to put all of your students, all of your teams at the front of the room. And like in this situation, we can see that Team Johnny Bravo probably needs some support, so we'd hop over there right away. If you want this to be more individualized, you can create a template like this one for students that would be working on an essay. So in this, for an English class, they might be done with brainstorming in their first draft, and they're still working on their peer review right now, getting their paper peer reviewed. When they're done with peer review, they might move this over. Now I'm starting on my second draft. Done with my second draft, now I really need help with the teacher review. This also allows it so the teacher can see exactly where they're at, and they can support the students where they need to. So if they see students still falling a little bit behind, they can definitely go and support those kids. All this was a table, information on the left-hand side, and these are just word boxes, just little text boxes. I would insert text, create yellow, I put a border around it, entered the text, and now I have a box, a little sticky note that I can slide around. Really easy, takes no time at all, and this is a great way to manage your students' workflow. Talk about some question types and some methods in which you can leverage this to really help your students learn. So the first one that I like is guided discovery, and I used this with my professional learning the other day. So under my guided discovery tab, what I did was I made another table, and all I did was I put in tabs of or sections, columns of different articles that discussed small group instruction. The instructions for the teams were to each person pick one article, summarize them, and then underneath this, they're going to take all their group's main takeaways and summarize them there. And then after that, they'll move forward with a link to a quizzes that kind of check their knowledge. Again, you click on this, automatically brings up the tab that, or the article that they're supposed to read. Really, really easy to use. The best thing about this too is that if we click on this collaborate button, the students could collaborate and all have this in one sheet. They can all add their each individual information and then work together on this as they go. The coolest features that I learned about using numbers is the ability to make self-checking answers. Now, it won't update anything to your grade book or anything like that, but it'll definitely give the students some instant feedback. And when you have a large class like most of us do, giving the kids instant feedback is really important. So if you look at this example from biology between the lytic and lysogenic cycle, they're trying to put the steps in order, and there is directions with this. I just clipped this part just so that it was a little bit simpler. So again, it's just that pop-up menu. Here are all the choices that I put in, and all they're trying to do here is put them in order. If they put the wrong one in order, it turns it red. If they put the right one there, it turns it green. So again, they're looking to try to put these in order, and hopefully your students for review activity wouldn't just click and guess, but if they do, at least they're reading it anyways in the correct order. For biology people, again, we have Punnett squares. Punnett squares are something that the students are expected to be able to do. This one took a little bit of creativity on my part to design this for them, but on Punnett squares, we're supposed to use letters to represent traits. So big E is correct on that one. The little e would not be correct. So if you'll notice on this, on the little e, I had to put a period after that, and it's because conditional formatting does not differentiate between a capital and lowercase letter, so I had to be a little bit creative as far as that goes. With percentages, I just did numbers here, and it'll count it right or wrong, depending on if they get if they answer correctly. Another opportunity for feedback is the correct answer is right here. As I open this text box, if I highlight it, it gives me the correct answer there. I just cover that up with black highlighting, and then again, as I just go over it, it reveals the correct answer. What I did on this one was a little bit different, and this was a little bit more work, but it ends up looking really nice when it's all said and done. So this is just, they watched the video clip and they're answering questions from that video clip afterwards. And what we have here is a table with a single column and a single row. So this is just A1. If you look over here, I used a pop-up menu again. Those are all the answer choices. We have highlighting rules, and if they click on the right answer, it will turn green. If they click on the wrong answer, it won't turn anything, and just the reason why is with all those answers, I would have had to have about 17 different rules. I didn't have time to do that. Going back, I'll probably fill those in when I have some more time to make sure that they turn red as well. So again, as they click on the right answers, it turns green. If they click on the wrong answer, it doesn't turn anything. And it says that in the directions that we actually have on the real sheet. Another answer type that we can use is just typing in. So instead of having a drag and drop menu, it's just a blank table, just an A1 regular table with 1 row, 1 column. So if I think the answer is growth and I type in growth, it doesn't tell me anything. If I type in the correct answer, which in this case is eukaryotes, it'll turn green for the students. So they have to type in there and they get the correct answer. This is a great option for people that teach math as well, to put a number at the end to give them some feedback and give them the correct answer if they need it. Lastly, I'd like to talk about other question types. So not everything can be self-checked, but there's some other ways that they can digitally manipulate icons and charts and things that would replace physical manipulatives in other classes. So on this other question types, the first one we have is from my learning that we did with small group instruction. So at the end of all of it, they're supposed to create a video, and all they have to do here is click on this media icon and submit their photo or video. All I did was insert an image right here, and then I used it as a media placeholder so that this little icon appears here, and all the students have to do is click on this, and this is where they would submit their video, and their video or image or picture, if they're going on a scavenger hunt or anything like that, would appear right here. And again, that's just media, and then you would insert, and then you'll have the option from there. This one's a little bit different answer type. So we have a drag down menu here, just like I've used before. So it starts with body color, and they would select a amino acid sequence. They'd find there's different sequences here. I've already selected these ones. And then they'll just use the drawing tool right here to draw the smiley that goes with these sequences. So again, at the end of this activity, the students would submit this, and you can grade it very, very easily by looking at their smiley face and seeing how they do. Plus, it's a lot of fun for the kids to be able to do this. On this one, regular Venn diagram, we've all used these before, and they're just dragging and dropping text boxes. So again, all these are text boxes. You would just click on text, create a box, and then we drop those where they want to. They can submit this to you, and you can very easily see if they put things in the right way. There's no way for this to be automatically graded or give them feedback, but it's an easy way for them to create this Venn diagram. This one is an energy flow diagram for ecology. So they're to pick out some of the animals, producers and consumers here, and then just drag and drop them where they think they belong. So if they think the cougars are eating trees, rock on, let them put them there. And they're to create their energy flow diagram this way. This one won't give feedback. The only thing that's important when you're designing something like this where you have multiple images is making sure that these images are in the front and the other images at the back. We also went ahead and lock this image by using the lock button right here when you click on an image under Arrange. That way this image will not move at all, but these other images will move on top of it and underneath it, or sorry, on top of it. So the last main thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was how to make your images pop a little bit more and look a little more user-friendly. So I just have an image here that I used with one of my PL sessions from the old cartoon Doug, if you guys remember that. If you look at it right now, it looks fine. It's just a normal image. All I did was drag and drop it there, which is nice. No import buttons or anything crazy there. As you look at this, it looks okay right now. It could look a little bit better. So what we're going to do, and I learned this from our DLC on campus, is we're going to click on this with the image button first right here, and we're going to use something called Instant Alpha. It's going to make part of the image transparent, so we're going to do that for the outside parts of this. And this image is actually not too bad already with this. So we'll use Instant Alpha. And then as we look at the last couple parts here. Oh, that one wasn't what I wanted, so I'll just Command Z. All right, that should be close enough. As we want, we can add a shadow to this. We add a little drop shadow, And now this image really pops. It looks a little bit better. It looks a lot more professional, and it wasn't too much work on my part, and it just really makes the images stand out and look a lot nicer. Overall, what are the pros and cons of using Apple Numbers to streamline your workflow? The pros is that it does streamline the workflow, puts everything in one spot for the students. It's pretty simple to use. The students can collaborate. The page is basically one big canvas. You can do anything on it. There's so much creativity that can be done there. You can make the space a lot bigger by moving that format button. It's easy to share. It's easy to import pictures, videos. It works really great with an iPad. I would argue that it probably works better on my iPad than it does with my MacBook. And students really get the chance to express their understandings in very creative ways, whether it's creating videos and uploading that. Again, with that media button, you click on that, and it brings up their camera roll right there. So they're not searching through their device looking for all of their work. The cons, this is an Apple product, so it has to work with Apple devices. So the districts that are one-to-one with Chromebooks, this isn't going to be for them. There can be some collaboration issues with Apple IDs. For instance, if you're on a managed Apple account, our teachers and our students are having a little bit of issues right now collaborating with each other with this, but our district's working on that this summer with Apple to see if they can get that set up. And the files can get pretty big, so I'll show you guys one last example of one that we did. Especially when you start to embed videos, we started putting links to the videos rather than the videos themselves because it did get so big. So I went from not understanding this at all to going to a training, and 2 weeks later had created an entire biology review for our biology team. So it involved some instructions. Here's our whole feedback page. Here are different tabs. So again, with our project management tab, it's going to direct everybody to exactly where they need to go. So if they need to go to station 1, here it is. Station 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down. Here are all the different tabs that we had for this one. Same for mechanisms of genetics. Lots of different answer types, lots of different questioning. We have links to digital dice. We have links to Kahoots and quizzes and everything else within this. Lots of different answers below in here as well. Opportunities for students to build a cladogram, a nice big chart. This one as well, self-grades as they select prokaryote or eukaryote. It tells them whether they're right or wrong in this whole chart. More answer choices here for different scenarios for body systems. Are interdependent of environmental systems. We looked at this one already, but again, this is a whole review that we put together. It did take me quite a bit of time, but overall, the feedback from the students and the feedback from the teachers has been great. It's something they've been able to push out, and the instruction has been individualized for all the students. They're getting exactly what they need in order to prepare them to fill in the learning gaps that they might have had over the year and prepare them to be successful on STAR. I hope everybody's found this useful. If anybody needs any support with this or has any more questions, I'd be more than happy to help. I've just been, I went to the one training, and the rest of this has just been kind of clicking buttons until I figured it out. And I've really enjoyed this, and this is definitely a program that I'm going to be using a lot more of. Thanks.